welcome to our first Content Marketing Partnerships Talks. Today we're with Heleen, Head of Partnerships, and I'm Daniel, Content Coordinator at Clovio.
Hello Daniel, thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time to do this small interview. Today our focus is going to be on writing reviews with high conversion rate. So we're going to go over how is it important for brands to have expert written reviews. We're going to go over how can you recognize a professional review, as well as what is required to produce this type of content, how we reach our audience with this type of content, and what we do to make these type of reviews to convert. Does that sound completely okay with you?
That sounds like
I covered everything?
Yeah, you
okay,
did.
Perfect. So first question is, why are reviews important for brands?
Well, it's important because it's really something that people are looking for and searching for. For example, in search results, we see a lot of times that people look for the brand name in combination with reviews, ratings, opinions. And in that sense, it's important to have user reviews that people can find on Reddit or on social media or via other sources. But it's also very important to have expert reviews to make sure that all the information is there and that people are very informed before they make a purchase. And when people are informed, they will also be more loyal.
Yeah.
There will be no disappointment afterward because a product doesn't have a certain feature. So this really makes sure that people are very loyal and more valuable to the company.
Okay. I'm also guessing that, well, expert reviews, they're going to be a little more neutral, which makes so the information it's a little more important, considering, like, for example, I usually see on Reddit or other websites, like people, when they leave the review or they love the product too much, or then they completely hate it, and you can really find a balance to understand if the product is good. Is that correct?
Yeah, indeed. So it's really important to also have those expert reviews to make sure that there's a clear standard and there's a clear policy being followed and that all the information is there and is unbiased as well.
Okay. So how do you recognize a professional expert written review while browsing online?
That's actually fairly easy to recognize. It will be a professional review if it comes from a recognized source, of course. A source that has a certain authority.
Okay.
Then the review itself should also follow a clear review policy, as I said before. And that means that it has been tested. The brand should be tested before by experts. So you can tell if it's been tested, if it's, for example, includes screenshots or video of the product. And you can tell that it's been written by expert if industry-specific language is being used. So then you know it's unbiased and it's informational and objective.
Okay.
Another important aspect is that there's a certain disclosure somewhere on the review page about the compensation model. So it's very important to be transparent about that as well. Professional reviews also follow a certain standard. So that means there will be no professional review that starts with the bottom line and then has the pricing in the end. There will always first be the introduction, then the features, then the pricing, for example, customer service, and then the bottom line.
That's even makes it easier when we want to see various products from the same industry, I guess.
Indeed, if you want to compare various brands, it's very easy if it follows the same format. And then you can indeed easily compare.
And how do you make sure those expert reviews are unbiased? For example, let's say, how do you make sure, and of course I'm not saying all websites do this, but how do you know that review wasn't paid to be good, for example?
Well, then indeed, if it has a clear review policy, if somewhere on the website they make sure and that they also are transparent about the review policy they follow.
Okay.
If it has been tested before, it's been written by experts, you can see in the tone of voice as well who it has been directed to, if it flows naturally as well, if it's nicely written.
Yeah, I see. So basically what you're saying is that just from the tone of voice you can understand if it's unbiased and neutral review, so there's probably not going to have a lot of selling, like this is the best software ever.
You'll notice if it's very promotional or if it's rather informational.
Okay. And what is required to produce this type of review?
You really need an entire team for that. You can't just do that on your own. At first you need people testing the product, so people who really know the brand very well, but who also know the industry as a whole, so they can tell if the features and the prices are up to market standards or better or worse than competitors. You also need writers who are able to convey all of this information in a clear and in a concise way, who know a lot about the industry, and who have that tone of voice as well, and who can adapt that based on the audience. If it's directed at parents or rather at companies, for example, it will be different. This is also being made sure of by the editors, who also look at spelling and grammar, but also at that tone of voice and make sure everything flows naturally.
Usually, I think that the testers and the writers usually are the same person, so that.
Indeed.
Okay. And after the editing, what comes next?
After the editing, of course, there will be probably another test to make sure everything is really correct, and then it will be placed on the website by someone who makes sure everything looks nice, but behind the scenes there's also PPC experts, SEO experts who make sure that the right keywords are being used. If, for example, you're creating a video review, then you also need video script writers, then you need a narrator to do the voiceover. You need someone editing the video, so there's an entire team for that.
And a content coordinator as well.
And a content coordinator.
Also important.
Website administrators, a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it's that kind of work that you don't really see, but it's really important.
I'm sorry, I almost forgot that. Content coordinators.
Well, I'm always in the shadows, just helping out.
Behind the scenes, just as a partnerships team.
Yeah, true, for sure. Well, it's a lot of work for sure to go over everything, and like you said, video reviews also take more work, but considering all this work, I'm guessing, well, we want people to read it, right? So how do users reach this type of content, like reviews and other types of content, maybe YouTube videos, for example?
Yeah, they can reach it on various platforms, so it can be on a review site itself, but if there's a video review, it will also probably be published on YouTube, where it really contributes to the brand's video SEO results, and it's especially important to have a video review if the competitors don't have one. A video review is in that sense also a good thing because it's a lot more engaging a lot of times than a written review. It's easier to digest. You can also listen to a video review while doing something else, while traveling, while cooking. So it's a really important part. Next to being published on YouTube, it can also be embedded on the website. And a lot of times people will also spend more time on the website if there's a video review. Other platforms are, for example, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Then you can also send out newsletters, doing email marketing. People can also reach the content in a more informational way. If they're looking for a general question, they can find this in a blog article or in an FAQ, and a certain brand can be presented as a solution to the problem posed in the blog article. But to reach the content, it's also good if there's a collaboration between the advertiser and the publisher. For example, the review can also be shared on the websites of the brand that is being reviewed. So it's good if you show that authority, and if that review site has that authority, that there's a certain rating or a badge being shown on the website of the brands.
So basically various different channels like social media, YouTube, blog content, all of them trying to funneling like the people that might be leads into the review.
Indeed, there are a lot of different channels there.
Okay. Search engine optimization is probably also very important.
So you need to do SEO efforts, PPC efforts as well on your own website and on other channels as well, to make sure that the review is being seen by people who are actually interested in the product and who want to buy the product.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfectly sense. And now So let's say the people watching did all this, they have the people already on the website, they're reading the review. How do you make a professional review to convert into a sale?
Indeed. Well, that's of course by making sure it's professional, as you said, by doing everything we've discussed before, by doing the appropriate research, by making sure it's standardized, it's easy to understand, it's unbiased. It's also very good to keep the content up to date, of course. And in that sense, the product that's being reviewed can really help in making the content up to date, in sharing feedback on the review that has just been published, or if a new feature releases, if they can notify the review websites. It's really good that everything's up to date. When you have the review, then you'll also include a link to the website of the brand that's being reviewed, and there will be a button there with a certain call to action. This can be register, visit, buy now. So it's really important to look into this.
Yeah, but in the reviewer's website or already?
Indeed, in the review website there will be a link to the product that's being reviewed with a button saying register now, for example. And it's very important to test this and to tune this to make sure this call to action
is working.
Yeah, is working, and the one that you're using converts the best.
Yeah, it's very funny because while we don't think that much about it, like a difference of a word in a button can make
just
a
a few words can make indeed a huge difference. But it's also possible not to only place a link there, but also a phone number. So this is especially important for certain verticals, for example, virtual phone systems. For other verticals, it will be less relevant. But this is also something you can do, and that really increases the conversion rate as well.
So in this case, like the conversion is not like clicking on that subscribe button, like for the plan, it's making a call and speaking with the company. Yeah, with the company and with the sales team of that company, and this phone number can also be tracked, just as the link can be tracked. Yeah, so basically the companies being reviewed will give you like a special number so that they know it's coming from that website.
Indeed.
Okay. And I'm guessing that it also needs some teamwork between like the partners or the content, like the products being reviewed and the review website. So for example, making sure the landing page on their website is good and it also converts, and it needs to have this discussion and this work effort like together for the long run, right?
Indeed. Once you have the review, people click through, they end up on the landing page, and it's really important that this is optimized and that you look together to see what is the best. Ideally, for example, the logo of the review website is being placed on that landing page. So it's clear that there's a collaboration between the two parties, and that the landing page is of high quality, that you can, for example, immediately buy a product there, and that you don't end up on the home page, for example. So there are few clicks that lead to a sale. Other ways of collaboration is having a dedicated coupon code, for example, that if people purchase a product through that review website, that they get a special discount, or that the free trial is extended, for example.
Yeah, all right. And I had another question, which is, well, about advertising. So another way for you to, for example, to get the review in the eyes of your target audience is by running PPC campaigns, for example. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because some companies, I know that some companies don't really like that other websites are like trying to get those keywords that they already use. How is that process?
Well, indeed. So you can use branded keywords, you can also use non-branded keywords. The advantage of review websites is, of course, that you can use the keywords reviews as well. So that you have the brand name, and then in combination with that, reviews, ratings, opinions, because that's really something people search for. And of course, everyone will bid on those branded keywords, so it will not only be the company that owns that product, but also competitors.
Yes.
And then it's good to have the company on the first place, and in the second place on the search results, a recognized review site which has authority, and then you can push the competitors down a little bit. Okay,
yeah, that makes perfectly sense to me. Hopefully we helped you understand how to create expert written reviews, how to get those people searching on Google into your website and making sure that all the content is optimized for high conversion rates. Of course, for the good products. If they're not good products, then we can't do anything. And yeah, I think that's everything for today's Content Marketing Partnership Talks. Thank you very much, Heleen, again, for taking your time to explain this to us.
Thank you, Daniel. It's been a pleasure being here.
Thank you, for me too. So if you have any more questions or any comments, please leave those in the comment section down below. And we see you in the next one. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and leave us a comment. For more content like this, check out our blog at clovio.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified of future videos. You can also follow us on social media to keep up with our media work. See you in our next video.